Everyone, greetings of the day, and as you know that we are talking about the communication skills and the personality development aspects, or that how we can do the effective communication while we are appearing for an interview, while we are speaking in front of the audience. So, one greatest thing is that while we are appearing for the job interview, that is also the part of the communication skills, and that's build up the confidence also, and how stressful and how we are facing the interview, because interview is such kind of the thing which we are having in our life, because after completion of any course you are appearing for an interview for the job. Although we can say if you are preparing for the UPSC or you are appearing for the interview of to become an IAS officer, so we need to prepare ourselves well. Okay. So, in today's lecture what we are going to discuss? We are going to discuss about the various tips which are helping you to make your interview best. So, this is the lecture number 13, that is the interview preparation. As you are aware of that in the previous lecture we have already talked about much on body language part 1 and the body language part 2. So, now question is, do you have a fear of interview? Yes, definitely when we are talking about the interview, it has certain mental aspects in our mind, that and we are having certain anxiety that what happens in the interview, because we are not aware of what goes on in the interviewer's mind. Definitely we need to prepare ourselves in such a manner, at least we should be confident in the interview. So, our first concern is, do you have a fear of interview? Yes. If you have, then how you can prepare yourself? Obviously, we have the certain tips, okay, by the experts given in the various books. If I am talking about the literature, that how to prepare yourself for an interview, then you can find as many as number of books. You can find as many as number of tips online, right, with the help of this Google, etc. We have several blogs nowadays which are helping the candidates that how they can crack the interviews. Okay, either I am talking about the corporate interviews, if I am talking about the banking interviews or the UPSC, etc. Or we are also getting training for the specific interview purpose. Okay. Now, we have this various tips for preparing the interviews. Yes, definitely the first and the foremost we can say the preparation is that while appearing in the interview, you go for to research the industry and company in which you are appearing. Definitely many of the times it happens, if you have a interview, the campus interview of the so and so company, on a very next day, the major mistake which is done by the candidate is that they are not doing the research on the industry or the company in which they are going to face the interview. That is the one thing, that you have to do the rigorous research the industry and company. For example, if you are a student of pharmaceutical, if you are a student of management, if you are a student of medical, right, and you are appearing for the interview in the medical companies, pharmaceutical companies, for example Johnson and Johnson, okay, for example Ranbaxy, for example Cipla, okay, then you must be aware of the background of that company in which you are appearing. Definitely the interviewer are asking about the industry in which you are appearing, the company. For example, what are the recent trends available in the pharmaceutical companies after COVID-19 or during COVID-19 period, or if I am talking about the COVID-19 pandemics, right, what are the various impacts are there in the automobile industry if you are appearing for an interview in the automobile company. So, definitely these are the certain questions which can be raised and asked by the interviewer. So, before appearing in the interview, you must research the industry and the company. That is the first and foremost tip to be successful in any kind of interview in which you are appearing. Okay. Now, second important concern is clarify your selling points and the reasons you want the job. Yes, definitely you have certain objectives in your mind that in which industry or in which company you want to accelerate your career, and you are going to start your career either in the film industry, either in this automobile industry, either in the pharmaceutical industry, medical profession, either you want to choose the hospitality industry, tourism industry, etc. So, you must have certain selling points which are matching with the industry requirement, which are matching with the jobs requirement, and you have to be very confident that what makes you the best candidate for this position. Definitely you have to justify yourself while you are appearing for an interview for the specific company or the industry. So, you must be clarify at least 2-3 selling points that what you have. For example, if interviewer is asking what is your strength, then you are saying that I am very good in the communication skills. So, that is what, that is your selling point. If I am talking about the research activities, then you are saying that sir, I am very much very much effective in the research activities. So, this is what, that you must be clarify yourself about the selling points and the reasons you want the job, and you have to convince the interviewer that you are desperate of getting the job. It is not like that you are not serious about that job. You just convinced him or her, yes, you want that job, that is why you are here for the interview. Okay. This is another thing. Third important tip is that anticipate the interviewer's concerns and reservations. Definitely the interviewers have certain concerns and reservations. Nowadays the scenarios. We are having the less number of jobs available in the market, and the competition is very tough, and it is impossible for the interviewer that they have to give the everyone chance for the selection. No, this is not possible. Interviewer has certain reservations because of the limited positions availability, and definitely you have to put yourself in their shoes, right. Think of from the perspective of the interviewer that what they want to ask you and what are their desires. Again, it is the kind of expertise you are having, it is the kind of practice you need to understand the behavior of the interviewer. Again, I am saying that it is very difficult to understand the psychology of the interviewer, because they are on the other side where they have the win-win situations, okay, and you are at the win-loss situation. Definitely they are on the win-win situation because they are the interviewer, and you are at the stake in the case of win or loss situation. So, anticipate well the interviewer's concerns and the reservations, because it is not possible for the interviewer that they have to provide the job opportunity to every candidate, right. So, this is the another factor. Put yourself in their shoes and think of from their mind. Next is the prepare for common interview questions. Definitely the common problem for the candidates are that they are not preparing themselves, right, according to the needs and requirements of the company's profile, job description, job analysis, job specification, and it is the responsibility of the candidate that before appearing in an interview they must prepare the common interview questions. Definitely they are not asking about your mother name, they are not asking about your father's name, because you have already given in the application, you have mentioned the father's name, you have mentioned your name, you have mentioned date of birth, you have mentioned your hobbies, you have mentioned your experience, everything is mentioned. Then what you have to prepare? Okay, the common questions are that what do you feel about the current scenarios? This is the one thing you have to prepare. Okay. So, fourth one is that you have to prepare for the common interview questions, and this is the prime responsibility of every candidate, every interviewee before appearing in an interview, right. Next we have this, line up your questions for the interviewer. Definitely in the previous point, what are your responsibility, that you have to prepare for the common interview questions which can be asked by the interviewer, right. But here in this point you have to line up your questions for the interviewer also. Definitely after the end of the interview, interviewers are asking something, anything else you want to discuss with us or anything else you want to say, then in this case you have to show your caliber again, you have to show your knowledge aspect, prepare something well, right, the certain domain in which you want to gain the attention of the interviewer, so that the interviewer can think of again about your candidature. So line up your questions for the interviewer also, right. So here you can ask the question, sir, I just want to know about these things, right. That is for the interviewer, because on the specific area, specific domain, they are the experts, and definitely you are asking something for them, right, about your curiosity of the particular area as far as their expertise are concerned. So bring in your mind that if the interviewers are asking the question that anything you want to say or anything you want to discuss, then you must convey him or her, yes sir, I just want to know about these things. Okay, that is the another way that how you can line up your questions for the interviewer. Prepare one or two questions in your mind, right. So that is the thing we have to do while we are preparing for the interview. Sixth point is practice, practice and practice. Yes, definitely communication is a series of experiences and it shows in the interview also. If you are preparing yourself well, you have to practice. Okay. Thanks to the technology nowadays, you have this mobile phones. Okay. Now you have front camera on your mobile phone, now you have the back camera on your mobile phone. Now you can prepare yourself, record yourself, right, as a candidate. You can practice yourself by standing in front of the mirror, by sitting in front of the mirror, right. You can prepare yourself with the help of your friends, right, make a panel of the interviewer of your friends, and your friends have been asking certain questions to prepare for the interview. So practice is the prerequisite in any case of interview success. You are not practicing, then the chances of success are very we can say the dim. So practice, practice and practice. That is the only mantra to be through in any interview you want to appear. Seventh is the score a success in the first 5 minutes. Yes, this is the again mantra that you have to score a success in the first 5 minutes. Many experts says that just the first 5 minutes are the important minutes, where the interviewer has make up the mind about the candidature. For example, if you are saying that, sir, I have really been looking forward to this meeting, right, what they are using, this meeting, not the interview. So that word meeting is conveyed certain message that you are not coming for an interview, you are coming for the discussions on a certain area, certain aspect. Okay. So that is the mantra that you have to score a success in the first 5 minutes only, and interviewer has make up their mind, right, what kind of candidature you have. Okay. So this is an example which I am quoting, that I have really been looking forward to this meeting, not an interview. You have to convince the interviewer that you are coming for the discussion on a certain aspect, expert of your domain and the requirements of the job which they have as far as the positions are concerned, as far as the job description which we are calling the JD is concerned, job analysis, okay, and the whole selection process which you have been going through. Okay. This is the another concern, and this is another tip we can say. Okay. Scoring a success in the first 5 minutes. The next is be assertive and take responsibility for the interview. Definitely what happens nowadays in many campus placements, okay, many companies are facing such kind of problems. They are not finding the the appropriate candidature. And why it is? Because the the students are not positive. So, be assertive and take responsibility for the interview. Okay. As I have already told that interviewer are at the win-win situation, they are not having nothing to lose. But if I am talking about the candidature, interviewee, they have the situation of win and loss. Okay. Until you are taking the responsibility for the interview, okay, because an interview is like any other conversation, and it's a dance, it's a dance in which you and a partner move together. Who is your partner? The interviewers are your partner at that time. So, in this case, what happens that you and your partner dance together, move together, and both responding to the other. That is the another thing, that you have to be assertive and take responsibility for the interview, that yes, I am taking the responsibility of the interview. If you are selected or rejected, okay, don't blame anybody. That after the interviewer, if you are rejected, then you are saying that interviewer have not asked the relevant question to you. Don't blame this. Okay. This is what, that you have to maintain the positive mental setup. Okay. But you have to perform well. You have to dance with your partner. Your partner is the interviewer. Okay. This is another concern, another tip we can say. Then ninth is, make your selling points clear. At the second point, we have talked about this. We have to be, prepare certain selling points, like we are having the USP, right? Everybody has USP, right? The companies are offering themselves in front of the customers by saying their USP, that unique selling proposition. In a similar way, while you are appearing for an interview, you must have certain USPs, that is the unique selling proposition. So, make your selling points clear. Obviously, you have 3 points in your mind, but you are not able to justify those points, then obviously your whole interview process will futile. Okay. You are not able to convince the interviewer if you are not making your selling points clear to every interviewer panel, because we cannot say that how many members are sitting in the panel of the interview. That depends. If I am talking about the UPSC interview, right, the huge panel is available. Approximately 10 to 11 members are there, those who are interacting with the candidate in the case of the UPSC final IAS interview. Okay. And the different companies have their different criterias, okay, and they are judging the candidates accordingly. So, make your selling points so clear, right, within the span of 5 minutes. I am repeating again that in an interview we have as many as number of candidates and we have a very short period of time. So, within the span of 5 minutes or 2-3 minutes, you have to show your candidature, and it is the judgment criteria. So, it is the responsibility of the candidate that they have to prepare themselves so well, so that they are able to convince the interviewer on the selling points, on the USPs, okay, unique selling proposition we can say, and convince well. That is the another thing. Okay. Yes. 10th point is, think positive, because positiveness is important. We have several negative thoughts comes in our mind while we are appearing for an interview. Definitely, because it's natural also. Okay. If I am appearing for an interview, okay, in my profession somewhere else, definitely have certain negative thoughts comes in my mind. If I am not selected, then what happens? Don't worry. If you are not selected, don't worry. This is not the one opportunity you have in your life. We have as many as number of opportunities available. But again, the success lies when you think positive. Definitely, thinking positive is the concern in every interview. Obviously, you are not the expertise of all trades, but you have to be if you are thinking positively. That is the another concern, that how you can make the great success in any kind of interview you are appearing. Close on a positive note. Yes, definitely when we are talking about the closing the positive note, that's important. For example, if I am going to finish my presentation today, my lecture today, I must appreciate the things. Okay. Appreciate in this sense, I must appreciate the interviewers. Okay, definitely. Close on a positive note, right? If you are, if you are losing your confidence, right? Don't think of that you are losing your confidence, but in a positive note, you can ask any question to the interviewer also. So that is again, one of the great mantra, that closing on a positive note is one of the criteria. Okay, because it's not the one chance that you are appearing for an interview. You can have as many as chance in your life. Okay, in a campus interview, if one company has rejected you, it does not mean that you are not having a caliber. It does not mean that you don't know something. Okay, but closing a positive note is important. Okay, that is the another way, another concern, that if you are preparing for the interview, that how and in what manner you can express yourself, that's the another fundamental. Again, bring a copy of your resume to every interview. Many students nowadays, it happens, we are experiencing also with the students, that many students are not keeping the resume with themselves, and that's a problem, right? They are saying that, sir, we forget to get the printout of this the copy of resume. Sir, we'll go for to get the printout of the copy of resume. What rubbish you are talking! The interview panels are there to waiting for you, and you are saying that you are coming within 10 to 15 minutes to get the printout of the resume. That's you are doing mockery over there? No. You have to prepare your resume well before appearing in the interview. So bring a copy of your resume to every interview. Get the 3-4 copies along with you always. If there are 2 interviewers are available in a panel, then you have to offer the 2 resumes to 2 interviewers. Oh, that is the thing, that is the way that how you can represent yourself in front of the interview, and to maximize the chances of selection, because sometimes what happen, you are expert in everything, but when we are talking about the behavior, when we are talking about the presentation, when we are talking about the representing ourselves in the well behaved and structured way, then the chances of selection are more. That is what in the case of that, you have to bring a copy of your resume to every interview in which you are appearing. Okay. Don't worry about sounding caned. Yes. Next very important point. Caned here means the polishing. Okay. I have already told you that practice, practice and practice. This is the only mantra if you want to get success in an interview. But don't worry about sounding caned. Sounding caned means if you think that interviewer will observe you that you are playing like a drama, don't worry about it. Okay, that will gives you a confidence. Practice more, right? Prepare yourself in the dramatic mode, right? That will bring the confidence in you, and that will bring the smooth conduct of the interview, or we can say the meeting, okay, with the interviewer. Okay, so don't worry about sounding so caned. So caned means so polishing. Let the interviewer observe that you are well prepared, well structured. Okay, although you know that how much you have rehearsed for that particular interview, right, to gain the success. So don't worry about this sounding caned yourself. That is the another important aspect. Okay, because rehearsal is the only way whereby you can think of that you can get the success in an interview. Okay, until you rehearse, you cannot think of getting the success. Okay. Then next, this 14th point is make the most of tell me about yourself question. Yes, every time what happens, interviewers are generally asking this question, tell me about yourself, that question. Then what do you say? You are saying that, sir, my name is this, my father name is this, my mother name is this. Okay, I have a hobbies, I have 2 dogs in my house, I have 2 cats in my house. Okay, the dog's name is this, cat's name is this. Don't bother, don't worry, right? Because they know, they are not bothering that how many cats you have, how many dogs you have. They want only that what you have for their companies and how you can help the companies and how you can, satisfy the, matching the requirements of the companies. That is the most desired, requirements. So tell me about yourself. That means, well, sir, as you are aware of that, my personal details are already available with you. But I want to convey something about my experiences, the past experiences which we are having in the various institutions and the various industries. And I have, I have one strength that I am a very good communicator. Okay, so these are the things that how you can start on. If somebody asks you, tell me about yourself. Okay, everybody is, conveying this. But how differently you are conveying this, that is the important thing. Then comes to the last point. Well, sir, I am very much thankful to my parents that I have bring such kind of education and knowledge. Okay, without the without their cooperation, without their training, without their skills, I am not able to do all these things. Okay, so make the most of the tell me about yourself question. Okay. Then again, although that is the first and prior point, speak the right body language. Yes, speak the right body language, dress appropriately, that is important. Make eye contact with the interviewer, every interviewer rather. If we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 interviewer in the panel, now it is your responsibility that you have to move and you have to make the eye contact while you are speaking, while you are interacting, and give a firm handshake, right. Many people are pushing themselves, right, like in this strong handshake. They are not checking your power, that how much power, how much strength you are having. So you must be aware of that, you must give a firm handshake, have a good posture while sitting in an interview, that how you are sitting in an interview, that you have to give the right posture. Okay, you don't like sit like this, like in this lying way. No, 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 this is not the way. This is the right way that you have to convince, and you have to appropriately use the what? The movements. That is important. Speak clearly. Clearly you can speak, and don't wear perfume or cologne. Many times what happens, you think of that you have to put the perfume and cologne to give the impression to the interviewer. My dear, we do not know that the interviewer are having the allergic problems. They are having the allergy from the perfumes or cologne. Then again, what you should do? That gives the negative impressions. So don't wear perfume or cologne. That is the important thing, because we are not aware of what will be the mindset and what will be the health strength of the interviewer. Okay. So speak the right body language is an important concern. Dress appropriately, make eye contact, give a firm handshake, have a good posture, speaks clearly, and don't wear perfume. This is the another concern. Now, 16th most important tip is be ready for behavior based interviews. Of course, COVID-19 pandemic has changed the way of the recruiter also. Employers are facing so many problems. Employers has faced number of problems. The level of stress is more. The people are looking for the new jobs. The people have retrenched from the existing jobs during that period. Many jobs have left, but as far as the studies from the Harvard Business Review, right? Now the companies are doing the behavior based interviews. Earlier it was also the practice. In the defense services, what happens? There is a behavior based interview and we have to go through the many selection processes as far as the defense services is concerned, SSB is concerned. Okay. So, SSB we can say, NDA we can say, CDS we can say, you are appearing in many interviews, okay. But behavior is an important aspect nowadays. Even a small company is looking the behavior of the concerned candidate, that how a candidate is behaving in a particular situation, that is important. What kind of temperament a candidate is having, that is important. So, be ready for behavior based interviews, okay. Make yourself in such critical situations that you can come up with these critical situations while you are appearing in the interview, okay. That is the another great concern, that be ready for behavior based interviews, right. Then 17th tip, although these very tips are so much effective, but in the books you can find 100 of tips, in the several books you can find 100 of tips, but you have to work on that tips. This is the only way that if you want to appear in the interview, that how you can get the success in an interview. Then send thank you notes, okay. Although in India it is not a culture, but in the European countries, right, there is a culture of whether you are selected or rejected, you have to send a the thank you note to the concerned employer. That is the important thing. Through email you can send the thank you notes, because if you are rejected, then you have to send a note, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to appear with the interview, to discuss with you the many things about this. If I am having the certain shortfalls, if I am having the certain shortcomings, let me know about this, so that I will prepare well again. So, that convince the employers that how much desperate you are, and again if they have certain opportunities for you, then definitely they will call you again for an interview. So, that is the way that how you are acknowledging the employer, whether you are selected or rejected, okay. This is the prime responsibilities, that in this way you have to send the thank you notes, okay, to convince the employer, right. Then do not give up. This is the last but not the least. I have already conveyed. There are 100 of tips available in the different books, blogs, on internet you can find, you can search the interview tips, as many as tips have appeared on your screen. Do not give up, right. If you are appearing for 4 interviews and if you are not selected, if you are rejected every time, so do not give up, but try well, be prepared well, find out the shortcomings, drawbacks, that where you lack in the interview, that definitely works one day, okay. So, it is very important for every candidate, for every person, every people, right, those who are the budding managers, those who are the budding entrepreneur also, okay, those who are preparing for the IAS, because many times what happens, they have well through the theory exams of IAS, but when they are having the meeting with the experts for an interview, they are not able to get through in the merits because of the low score in interview. So, that is again is a problem. Okay. So, interview is not the small thing, it is a very big thing, and without preparation, without practice, without learning, we are not able to go through. Okay. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. You can refer this link for this purpose of getting more interview tips. You can find more interview tips on that link, and till then take care. We will be discussing more on the communication skills in the next session or the next discussion. Thanks.